Good afternoon, dear friends. I think you all are fine in your respective places, wherever you are. I am here to share a thought with you from the Bible. Today I was in my traditional attire. I thought just to wear a traditional way of dressing. I just want to share some thoughts from the Bible. You see, in this afternoon time. Yesterday I was reading a psalm. It is Psalm 131. Psalm 131. I would like to read it for you. It's like this: Lord, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in great matters or in things too high for me. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Let Israel hope in the Lord from henceforth and forever. This is a very beautiful passage from the book of Psalms. When you look into the background of this Psalms, there are a lot different kinds of Psalms. Psalms are poems that are written by the poets of Israel and is mainly attributed towards King David. We all know that. And this psalm is also written by King David. And it's a song of degrees. It's a song of ascendance. When they ascend, when they go up to Jerusalem, to the temple of Jerusalem, they used to sing these songs. That's the background of this song. That's the purpose of this song. And here, the psalmist is saying, my heart is not haughty, nor mine eyes lofty. Here we see the mind of psalmist, the one who wrote this psalm. It's in a very, calm nature. His mind is very quiet. His mind is very quiet. He has peace in his heart. He is not a person who is easily provoked. as a Christian, many times we are easily provoked by others, maybe their words, maybe their actions. But a true devotee of Jesus Christ, a true believer of Jesus Christ, is a person who is not easily moved by the circumstances around him. When you look into the life of David, he is a king. He has a lot of things to manage. He has a lot of challenges in his life. In his personal life, in his administration, and the surrounding people, nations are always trying to invade their nation. So he is a person dealing with this kind of heavy risks in life, in his life. But still, he is telling that his mind is quiet. He is not easily provoked by these problems. How is it possible for a person like him? It is none other than the presence of God in his life. You may be surrounded with a lot of problems in your life. You may be surrounded with a lot of challenges in your life. But when you experience the presence of God in your life, you will experience God's peace in your heart. You will experience the peace that is unfathomable, the peace that cannot be explained in your life. That is what we see in the life of David here when he writes this psalm. He says that, "Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child." You know, what is the peculiarity of a weaned child? You know, when a child is born into this world, its only source of energy is from his mother. When his or her mother breastfeeds the child, that is why the child survives. If the breastfeeding stops, the child, it will definitely affect the health and the nutrition of the child. But here psalmist says, "But I am not like that. I am like a weaned child." A weaned child is a child that has attained a maturity that, or a health, so that the mother doesn't need to breastfeed their child anymore. So when you are in a spiritual, when you are living your spiritual life, you should attain that kind of a spiritual maturity in your life. Here, that's why David says, "Here I am not affected by the problem that is, the circumstances that is going, the problems that is going around me, because I am like a weaned child. I am a mature personality. I am a mature believer right now." So what God intends about all of us is that we should not be always a person of complaining. We many times go to the presence of God and we keep on complaining about what is going around in our life, the problems that we are facing, the things that we are lacking in our life. We are always praying about the problem that is going on in our life. We are always complaining to God. But rather than complaining to God, David is thanking God. Because when you look into the history of Israelites, they went to exile many times, but God has brought them back to their land. So, as a mature believer, when David is looking back into the history of their people, he cannot complain to God for little things that is happening around in his life, rather than he is praising God for what God has done in his life. So that in the same way, when you look into our own life, we should also thank God for what God has done for us in our life. That is the meaning of this particular verse that we see. Weaned child. He is quoting, or he is just bringing before us the example of a weaned child. The meaning is that we should become a very mature believer in our life. That spiritual maturity is what we need. And he says that my soul is even as a weaned child. So he feels content in himself. He has problems in his life, he has challenges before him, maybe problems that cannot solved by his own abilities. But amidst all these problems, in the midst of all these troubles, he is telling that my soul is even as a weaned child. Are we able to proclaim such kind of a statement in our life? Maybe we are leading Christian life for many years, but still we are complaining about many things what is happening in our life. But what God intends about us is like this, like David said in his psalm. Our soul and heart also should be like a weaned child. That spiritual maturity God is always expecting from us. That is what we see in this psalm. And he says that let Israel hope in the Lord from henceforth and forever. There are troubles and tribulations in the life of David and Israelites. But still he says, how much troubles did it come? But there is a God who can, deliver the nation of Israel from all the problems that they are facing in their life. That is what the psalmist believes. So just like that, when you take it into the New Testament context, there may be trials and temptations in our life, there may be tribulations in our life, but Jesus said, there are tribulations in your life, but I have overcome this world. Just like Jesus said, we can also say that we will definitely overcome the world. Paul says that you are more than conquerors. Whatever problems comes in your life, it cannot distract the faith that God has put within you. So that is what we need. That kind of an assurance we need in our life these days. In our Christian life, in our Christian faith, we need that kind of assurance. God wants us to have a constant communion with Him and to have a growing faith in our life, to have a mature Christian life in our life. Just like a child grows. That's the most beautiful example that David used in this poem. Just it is, comparing to the growth of a child, the faith in him. He's comparing it. The Christian life, the life as a believer is compared to the life of a child. When a child enters this world, he needs breastfeeding from his mother. But after a certain level of growth, that child doesn't need that because he has already become mature. He is mature enough to eat other food and grow by himself. So just like that, if we are in the in the very beginning stage of faith, the very basic level of faith life, we may complain about the problems in our life. Because we are looking into the problems, we are looking into the issues. But when you become a mature Christian, rather than looking into that problems, you will definitely say that I have a God who is able to deliver me from any sort of problems that I am facing in my life. So that is what we need to have in this evening time. That is what I want to exhort you through this Bible verse in this evening time. When you look into the Bible, when you look into the New Testament, John chapter 15 says, abide in me. It's a very important Bible verse. I am the vine, I am the true vine, and my Father is husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And in the fourth verse it says, abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. So the Bible here says, in the New Testament it says, abide in Jesus Christ. How can we grow in faith? If two persons, they are not talking to each other, if they are not seeing each other, if they are not having or maintaining a fellowship, a friendship, how can they grow in their relationship? It is just like that. If we are not spending time with the Lord, if we are not following Christ, if you are not praying to Him, if you are not reading the Bible, how can you maintain our faith? How can you grow our faith? How can you grow our relationship? So, if you want to become a mature Christian, you have to spend time in prayer. You have to spend time in reading the scriptures. You have to have time and fellowship with the Lord. So that's the only key to develop a good relationship with the Lord and to become a very mature in our Christian journey. So that is what I want to just exhort you this afternoon time. I truly believe that it will be a blessing in your life. And if you have any prayer request, definitely you can write it down and I will pray for you. Now I just want to one person is watching. I just want to interfere with. No one has commented yet. Anyhow. just do just yeah, just want to. Is there anybody watching me? I think one person is watching me. You can definitely comment and you can have interaction if you are willing to comment. And if you have a prayer request, kindly write it down. If you have a prayer request, you can write it down. I will definitely pray for you. Okay. Hello guys. I'm not here for actually for likes and comments or anything like that. I'm here to share the gospel with you and to have interaction with you. I would like to have an interaction with you. I don't need likes and comments. I'm not here for that. Feel free to write down your comments, your opinions. Okay. who is watching me. Okay. I think it's all over. Nobody is responding. Why I'm waiting for responses? I love to interact with people. That's all I think. I'm not expecting any kind of comments or likes. Thank you.